It's time for another motherfucking dose. Token Daily got another fucking episode. He's high, spirit is fly. Cut me off a piece of that shish kebab pie. Yeah.
Aloha world, welcome to another token video where today I am coming at you with a Patreon request. Mr. Daniel sent me a couple questions to chat about with you today, and I figured with the weather as beautiful as it was outside, it would be a great day to just kind of take a stroll around my neighborhood. Now it was a little windy out, so that being the case, I figured instead of having that constant wind sound in the microphone, I would just take some kind of scenic shots of the nature that surrounds me here, and I just do a voiceover. So here I is, and here we go. So first and foremost to talk about is a question that gets asked fairly frequently. And that is exactly what happened to all of the glass that I used to have from back in the day, from back in Denver. And it's a tough one to talk about because it wasn't something that I expected would happen. So when I came here to Maui, I basically left a vast majority of my glass with a trusted friend, and things are okay for a while. And then, I'm not exactly sure what happened. Maybe they were having a bad day, but they were in the process of moving, and instead of contacting me and being like, hey, I don't want to, or I can't really keep all of this glass anymore, they decided to just throw it all away. Not all of it. The one piece they were able to sell. Now, they did say that, they made an attempt among their friends and people they knew to try to sell it off, but it just wasn't selling, except for that so-called assassin piece. They were able to sell that for $30 big dollars. $30. Oh, that hurt when, we finally did chat again a while after that, and they kind of broke that news to me. I was just like, well, you do know what it all could have sold for, right? If you just would have told me, and if I perhaps maybe made mention that, I was auctioning it off or whatever, just trying to get rid of it. However, they're like, yeah, I know, it was probably a few $1,000s worth of glass. I was like, yeah, at least. Like I said, I didn't really press the matter. I just figured they were having one of those times in life where things weren't great, and that's the story. I mean, I could go on, make it a bit more embellished and whatnot, but yeah, that's the down and dirty about what happened to a vast majority of my glass. Unfortunate, but that's the way life goes sometimes. So moving on. The next question they have is, well, do I still have contact with some of the old homies from back in the day, most notably Mr. Dan Redband? And no, I don't. I'm horrible at keeping in touch with people. I'm super bad at that. Like, unbelievably bad at keeping in touch. So honestly, since I've moved here to Maui, I don't think I've had any contact with Dan. Some of you may be aware of or may know Dane from Cannabis Review TV. Shout out to Dane. He is a watcher of my content. He'll make comments every now and then. Cheers, Dane. But that's kind of about it. There's a couple. Well, there's like one person that I maintain kind of loose contact with, one of my other really good friends from back in Denver. But that's about it. On Instagram or whatever, I'll like a couple posts from some of the old homies, but that's about the extent of my contact from people that I knew back in the day. Sorry. I wish I had, I guess, better news of me actually engaging in keeping those relationships alive, but nah, like I said, I'm horrible at that. So moving on to the third question that they have, the third and final question is, do I still smoke? Um, if not for this recent health issue that I have been having, the answer would be a resounding yes. I did smoke up until this point. But because of the health issue, because it's something that I'm taking quite serious, because it's a heart issue, I figured just to give my body as best of a chance as possible at I guess not being influenced by weed, because something I've known about weed even before I started smoking it is that it does have an impact on your heart. So that's kind of always been in my mind because, well, I have a family of heart issues. Now I don't have contact with my family. That's something else I'm absolutely horrible at. So I can't really expand more on that, other than the fact that I'm very well aware that I do have a family with heart issues. Most notably, I have an uncle who, at the age of, I think, 33, maybe 32, he died due to a heart condition. Again, I'm not sure exactly what it was that happened back in the late 80s, maybe early 90s. No, I want to say it was like 88 or 89. So I was a kid when it happened, and I never, really asked anybody about that since I've been an adult. And I haven't had any contact with my mom. It was on her side of the family for like 15, 20 years or so now. So yeah, again, I'm not exactly sure the extent of the family history of the heart issues, but I do know that it exists. So because of that, I cut weed out of the equation, and it's rough at times. I'm not able to fall asleep as easily. Eating isn't as easy as it is after a couple puffs, but again, the heart issue kind of takes priority. So yeah, that's that. And that's about it. Those were the three questions that Daniel posed to me. If you happen to have any questions or maybe a reaction that you want me to do a video about, feel free to let me know over on Patreon. So until next time, cheers, everybody. I'll see you then.